It was supposed to be the dawn of something new for Newcastle United. A day in which the end of the Mike Ashley era moved closer. Instead, it was a tired old story of mistakes and a foe in Wayne Rooney that this Tyneside football club has never been able to tame. Rooney scored the winning goal in the 27th minute of a match Rafa Benitez's troubled side largely dominated. It was the 15th time Rooney has scored against Newcastle, more than any other in his glittering career. He for one was not particularly bothered about the calamitous mistake made by Carl Darlow, the Newcastle goalkeeper, in the goal's creation. The former Nottingham Forest goalkeeper, recalled at the end of November, spilled a simple header to parry the ball into Rooney's path. Fantasy Premier League tips. Game Week 17. 6 Show all Fantasy Premier League tips. Game Week 17. 1/6 Harry Kane opponent. Brighton and Hove Albion. H. Price. 12. 9 meters Getty. 2/6 John Joe Kenny opponent. Newcastle United. A. Price. 4. 3 meters Getty. 3/6 Charlie Austin opponent. Leicester City. H. Price. 6. 2 meters Getty. 4/6 Demarai Gray opponent. Southampton. A. Price. 5. 3 meters Getty. 5/6 Young Min Son opponent. Brighton and Hove Albion. H. Price. 8. 0 meters Getty. 6/6 Christian Cabazal opponent. Crystal Palace. A. Price. 4. 6 meters Getty. It was a goal created by uncertainty and errors in Newcastle's defense, which has so characterized their recent poor run. Javier Manquillo was drawn out of position, and that allowed Dominic Calvert-Lewin to drive into the space and cross from the right. Aaron Lennon had split two defenders, Jamal Lascelles and DeAndre Yedlin, but his header was weak and simple enough. Dario, however, could only spill the ball. Rooney reacted. Newcastle's defense didn't, and he prodded in what would prove to be the game's only goal. It had deflated the home side, who had been on top until then. Indeed, the game had turned in the space of 71 seconds. And that also said much about Benitez and Newcastle's fortunes. The recalled John Joe Shelvey hit a 40-yard pass to Dwight Gale that was knotted down into the path of Matt Ritchie. The former Bournemouth midfielder drove into the penalty area and cracked a left-foot shot that had Jordan Pickford beaten before it cannoned back off the post. Everton broke, and just past a minute later were ahead. Benitez turned to his dugout and rolled his eyes. Rooney celebrates what turned out to be the winner for Everton. Getty. He did the same, but with more exasperation in the 36th minute. Again, Newcastle had struck the frame of Pickford's goal. Mikel Merino was allowed to advance with the ball, and he crashed a superb left-footed drive from 35 yards that again fizzed past Pickford, this time crashing off the inside of the post. It felt then that it would not be Newcastle's night. The contrast to a day in which hopes were hugely raised that Ashley's 10-year reign is nearing its conclusion. There is unveiled glee at the prospect of the Sports Direct owner leaving and Amanda Staveley arriving. But any deal, with a price in excess of $300 million believed to have been tabled, will most likely not be pushed through until after the transfer window has closed. To that end, there is suggestion of an agreement in place. That funding of around 30 meters will be made available. Every penny of that will be needed. Given the increasing plight, it is 1 point from 8 games now for Benitez and his men. 1 win in 12, and they are just a point above the relegation zone with trips to Arsenal and West Ham coming up. The rut continues for Benitez and his men. Getty. Newcastle were arguably the better side in the second half, as they had been in the first. But a Florian Lejeune header that Mo Diame only just failed to get a touch on at the far post in The 54th minute was as close as they came. Marino and Atsu saw shots saved by Pickford, but they were tame. Sigurdsson could have done better with a good chance, but he shot way over the bar in the 68th minute. In the 94th minute, Shelvey picked up a needless booking, his second of the evening. For that he was shown red by Martin Atkinson and will serve his second suspension of the season. It is another headache for Benitez on a day that was supposed to bring relief. It was Allardyce's first win against his old foe as the away manager in 8 attempts. Newcastle, the 1st of March 42. Darlow, Yedlin, Lascelles, Lejeune, Manquillo, Shelvey, Marino, Perez 86, Atsu, Diame, Jusalu 66, Ritchie, Aaron 73, Gale, Everton, the 1st of January 44. Pickford, Kenny, Holgate, Williams, Martina, Lennon, Vlasic 61, Gay, Schneiderlin, Sigurdsson, Jagielka 85, Rooney, Davies 76, Calvert-Lewin, Ref. Mr. Martin Atkinson.